It's a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier solo head. It's a 2-channel model from the mid-90s. The serial number is 4165, which I think makes it a revision G. So maybe the guys from the Mesa Boogie fan club can help me out. I bought this amp in 2000 from a secondhand music store. I was looking for something along the lines of a JCM 900 because that was the sort of sound I was after. I actually really wanted a Mesa Boogie, but at the time there was only about one store in the whole of Australia that sold them that I knew of, and so it was out of my price range and basically out of the cards. So the fact that the planets aligned, I found one in this store for about $2,000. As soon as I played through it, I had to have it. My parents loaned me the rest of the money that I didn't have, and I've had it ever since.
Must be strong to take what life throws at you. You don't know what card's gonna be dealt next.
The amp came with two 212 speaker cabinets. They were both handmade, and I don't mean handmade in a good way. They were both pretty ugly. They both use fly screen in front of the speakers. Now the open back one I ended up selling because I just never really used it. The closed back one has a chunkier, fatter sound, but I call this cabinet the mystery box because I don't actually know what speakers are in it. I've never opened it up. I could tell by the size of the cone on the open back one that I had that it has smaller cones on the closed back one, so they aren't the same speakers. The speakers in the open back one that I had were Celestion G65s, which I didn't really like. It is kind of embarrassing that I don't know the speakers that I've been running for all this time, and I do plan on buying a cabinet with a couple of Celestion Vintage 30s to go with it. So this year I've had this amp now for 20 years, and I've used it with a number of different bands and solo work, gigging, touring, and heaps of recording. It works really well when it's being double tracked, has a really ballsy sound. It's great for sort of hard riffing or transitioning from riff to chords, things like that. It's been incredibly reliable. It's never broken down on me. I've never even blown a fuse. I certainly haven't blown any valves on it. It's just terrific.
It's so easy to blame your problems on someone else. What serves you right 'cause you did.
The clean channel on it is pretty flat and fairly boring sort of sounding, if I can say that. It's a fairly good pedal platform, but it's all about the dirt channel. The dirt channel on this is really ballsy. It's great for playing that sort of Tom Morello, Mike Einzinger style riffs that I loved to play. I was a huge fan at the time of Mike Einzinger and Tim Mahoney, both of whom played Mesa Boogie dual rectifiers. So I really wanted one. The fact that I found one in a second-hand shop in the middle of nowhere kind of reiterates to me that the planets really did align for me in that case. And for pretty much the last 20 years, this was the one piece of gear that I would never sell, and I still really love it. It's worth mentioning on the clean channel also it has one switch on the back which will turn the clean channel into a vintage overdrive channel. I wish that was foot switchable, but it's not. So functionality's come a long way, but I know that the 2-channel Mesas are very highly sought after, and for good reason. I don't have any plans to sell. Interestingly, only about a couple of weeks after I bought it, I was playing a gig in Lismore at the Tats Hotel, and a guy came up to me from the band I was supporting. He was from the Gold Coast, and he said to me, "Where'd you get that amp?" I told him where. He said, "I saw that amp and I rushed home to the Gold Coast to get together the money to buy it. When I came back, it was gone." And then he offered to buy it off me. I declined. I've had several offers to buy it, up to $5,000 just for the head. People have offered me. I've declined on every occasion. I've had this amp now for a very, very long time, so unless somebody offers me a ridiculous amount of money, I can't say that I'm going to sell it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to take our relationship to the next level, please hit the subscribe button. I want to thank everybody for reaching 1,000 subscribers. It's been a long time coming, but I really appreciate the ongoing support from so many of you. So thank you all so very much, and I'll see you later.